whenever you are knocked down by anything, be it wrongly accused of something, abused, imprisoned, tortured, when you are discriminated against, wounded, hurt by another or by a group of people, turn always to your deepest source, to the one who loves you always. And there, let your heart rest in safety and in love. Injustice is a part of this world, this physical world. Justice and injustice both exist in this physical world. Due to ignorance, human beings inflict pain upon each other. And not only human beings, but among different species. The lion kills the deer and the antelope. For the lion, it is justice, it is the food, but for the deer, for the antelope, and the pain of the situation, they may feel they don't deserve this. They deserve to be able to live their life, and they are correct. So the needs and desires of one interfere with the needs and desires of another. This clash is there throughout the natural world. And in human society, it comes about. One person wants power. They will inflict injustice upon others to acquire what they want, what they need. The hunger becomes not to fill the belly, but to fill the ego, to fill the mind, to acquire power over people, to acquire wealth, to acquire influence. People will harm other people. They will step on them. They will try to crush them. When armies come into a country, they will rape and pillage and do tremendous injustice to people. When one group of people, for any reason, be it race, religious preference, cultural differences, whatever the reason, feels elite above another group, they will treat that group of people, that category of people, with unkind words and occasional acts of violence to assert their dominance. In a world in which justice is a noble cause, and indeed it is a noble cause, the reality of injustice remains. And even if it is cured in one place, it will rise again in another, because the needs of people for dominance, in leadership, influence, power, control, to secure themselves, will always bring this type of behavior. If you find that you are, for some reason, the victim of such harm or cruelty of those who are struggling for dominance in one form or another, bring yourself to that inner place where there is unconditional love and all remains in equilibrium. In the shower of grace from the infinite Brahma, in the love of the Sadguru, you are always protected. You are always sheltered. Let that be your home, and let the struggles of the outer world be a teaching. That attachment to goals in the external world, to life in the external world, is something that can be swept away in an instant by a dictator, by aggressive people, by a plague and illness. Injustice reigns, but it does not rule. The imbalance is always balanced. Take your shelter where there is no imbalance. Learn to not seek your power, your fortitude in the ill ways that you see others do. Learn to find your own ground in the love of Parampurusha, and to learn compassion for all living beings. let the pains and injustices which you experience be an opportunity to deepen in your compassion and your understanding for the dilemma of this worldly existence. And from that inner strength, from that place of love with the divine, pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and begin again. Your life, each of you, is a bright and shining expression of Paramapurusha. Oppression and injustice abounds in this world. And when your eyes are open to this struggle, you become able to be a friend to those who need a friend, to stand strong in the face of injustice and wrongdoing, to live and to stand for the principles of love, compassion, care for all living beings and the welfare of all beings, and for the love between beings to grow and abound. When you stand for this, you stand for Dharma. So, revenge, bitterness, and victimhood do little to bring peace. And if you cling to it, then you will adopt the you will be drawn to situations in which those sentiments can be worked out. But if you surrendered them to Paramapurusha, then His grace will fill you to heal the wounds, for your being is immortal, and you have lived many lives, and in those lives you have been both oppressor and victim. You have discriminated and you have been discriminated against. The ways of truth, of Dharma, Reject both of these stances. Become an instrument of the divine, a harbinger of truth. Bring noble values into the world. Reject prejudice. Reject bigotry. Reject it in yourself and in others. Never allow yourself to judge another. When you judge and you set yourself above another, you set the dynamic of abuser and abused. When you sink deep into the love of Parama Purusha and you look with compassion at the weaknesses and failures of living beings, and try your very best to guide them to right action and understanding, then that is the proper path. That is the lesson to learn. Look at those people who have been most persecuted, most oppressed and abused by injustice done to leaders such as Nelson Mandela. This man was put in the prison for so many years. He suffered great pain due to injustice. What did he do? He found his place of equanimity, strength, and compassion within him. He found greatness, and he brought it out. Not with anger and hate, but with love. To stop the injustices. When something has been taken from you, when people have abused you and hurt you, be it for whatever reason, for there are many reasons that people do unjust acts in their search for power and position and dominance. Go to that inner source. No one can dominate you. You are always free in Parama Purusha. No one can oppress you. No one can harm you if you find the inner source and let that one and that love dominate your life. All things find their balance. The ones who are the oppressor today become the oppressed tomorrow. They learn their own lessons. Prakriti teaches well. You needn't try to replace her. But to stop those who are practicing oppression is important. To stand for truth, to stand for compassion, love, for all beings, and to find justice where you can. Sometimes the greatest pain a person experiences, often in fact, becomes the source of their greatest strength. So rather than crumble, allow yourself to go deep enough to find your real strength, and then fight for Dharma. Not to harm anyone, but to establish truth. To help others to find the right way, the true way of love and justice, of leadership by love, not by fear. Many try to grab power and influence by oppressing others and creating fear among people, so that the people will follow them out of fear of what will happen if they don't agree. This is a part of group psychology. But it is a very destructive way to lead by fear. Rather lead by love and inspiration of the great. And when you see those who are doing wrong, do what you can to change it. But know the difference. When you cannot change it, don't let it destroy you, eat at you, that you can't change it. Rather find your inner strength in Parama Purusha and trust in that one to balance all things, for they will be balanced, rest assured. Stand for truth, stand for love. Stand for the rights of the oppressed. But without hate. For those who are oppressing, who grab power, and lead with fear, are themselves oppressed inside. They are afraid. truth, in the end, always overcomes deception. Love, in the end, is stronger than fear, stronger than hate. Resilience lies in that love, which is the glue which binds all people as one people, all beings as one whole. Not only are human beings the victims of oppression, animals, plants, living beings of all species are oppressed. Whole species are disseminated, decimated by the oppressive acts of human beings. Yet life goes on, and those very souls find balance in the natural flow. Love is stronger than hate. Love holds all beings in the arms of divine grace and heals all wounds. No one can oppress you if you are free. Any suffering you have incurred, let it be a path to freedom, a teaching, an inspiration to go deep into the unconditional love and grace of the great. And there rise from the ashes like the phoenix and spread that truth, that love in the world. What you have learned, teach. All right? All right?